Welcome to the Pac Clone series of videos. I'm excited to announce that the Pac Clone series is complete and the game has been finished. And I've called it Dementia Defender, and I was really mulling over how to present these last couple of videos, but what I think I'm going to do here is announce that I have some physical copies of the game that I went through and created, and I'm going to show the media that I have, and I just did a limited run, and I'm going to show that here in the next segment, and then from there I'm going to show basically a complete run through the gameplay of the entire game, and that will comprise the complete video of this actual video right here. One complete video, and then I have a couple more videos, I'm not sure how many, that show the progression leading up to how I got up to this spot. You know, some of the final, kind of picking up where I took off in the last Pac Clone video series, and it will go from there. You know, I think there was probably about two or three more videos after this one that I'm going to put together as soon as this one drops. Now, I wanted to say that the physical media that I've created, it includes a floppy disk, the manual, a couple of stickers, and a box with some nice artwork that it took some time for me to do. That's part of the reason why it's taken so long to get this video to you. But I've already shipped out 3 copies to various people, and I'm keeping one of them, so that leaves me with 6, because I did a total of 10 copies. So if anyone's interested in getting a copy of the game, I will send it to you in the United States for free, the final 6 copies that I have. After that, unless there's a huge demand, I'm probably not going to do another run unless a lot of people's like, hey, I want a copy, I want a copy. I don't imagine that happening. I don't imagine the masses clamoring for this. But I'm considering doing a run for the next expo, Retro Gaming Expo, that I go to, which I'm not sure if it's going to be the Southern California one or if it's going to be the Portland one, because I'm thinking I'm going to Portland this year, so to the Retro Gaming Expo, and I'm looking forward to that. I'm planning on going this year, so I do plan on bringing 10 copies of this game with me to one of those expos. Not both, but one of them. So anyway, check out this media I'm about to show you in the next segment. It's really cool. I'm really excited to show it to you. And then following that's the gameplay. So what do we have here? This is the packaging for GPAC Dementia Defender that I've put together, and I already have 3 of these set to ship out to various people, and I wanted to kind of show you this, how this looks. And let's take a look kind of at the box. I used the software to prettyify the title screen. Is that a word? I don't know. And I did the GPAC label at the end, and then I put YouTube G-Ray Defender right there on the bottom. And then on the back, I sort of copied the style of Tiger Claw video game and put a few screenshots on the back with some text descriptions below. And I got the whole idea from, well, I think it was from Shotgun, the video game that I reviewed not too long ago, and I just liked the way he put together the whole package, and I thought, hey, this would be a cool thing to do. And then what you get with this little package inside is a floppy disk, and I've labeled the floppy and the sleeve here. And all I did is I put a sticker over what was underneath there, and I include my instructions, which I wrote up, a set of instructions, and I printed up a couple of labels of some graphics from the game. It's really not circular, but I like the effect, so I printed these up. And some of the title screen graphics that was on the home page, I mean on the title screen, on the cover art. And then on the inside, I had a different image here that I made. And then I mentioned that it's compatible with the Aladdin controller the game is. And then yet another image that I put together and some tips. And so that's what you get with the packaging. One thing to note on the packaging was I didn't realize when I ordered these boxes, which I love the size of them. They're nice and thin. And now I know why Shotgun is so much taller. It's double height of this. Is that it doesn't fit these floppy disks. It doesn't fit them quite nicely. So what I've had to do in order to make them fit was turn the disc sideways and stuff it in there pretty good, and it just fits it just barely fits when you close it. So I'm going to stick with these box sizes though, because I think it works out just fine. But it is a little bit of a, if I was selling these and making lots of money, I probably would go with a larger box. But for this little project, I think it's fine. So that's the packaging. All right, we're recording here. I'm in my Ultimate 2, Commodore Ultimate 2, and I'm trying to load GPAC Dementia Defender. I'm working here on my Commodore 64. And GPAC loads a lot faster than using the disk, and a lot faster than your floppy disk if you ever get the physical copy. You see here it says March 2017. I modified that. It had said February. And I have the flashing dot in the bottom right. And the animated ghosts here. You can press F1 to switch between the levels, which were all pre-championship round levels. And you can get to the backstory. Let's take a look at that really quick. I sort of have a health message here. I'm not going to read it. And I changed the colors between screens. And the idea here is I was just trying to have fun with the game and try to get people to eat healthy and perhaps maybe even live longer as a result. So I'm going to start off here by pressing the fire button. I'm using a TAC2 joystick. And we'll get started. So you'll see you start off in the game fairly slow, moving around, and the speed does ramp up as you advance levels, and you can speed yourself up in this game by eating, in the first couple of maps, by eating all four ghosts, which is tough to do because they are evasive. They will evade you. And the blue time, even though it's generous, sometimes it's not as generous as you would like. So for the most part, if I eat all four ghosts, it's going to be lucky. I don't usually go after them. If you want to play strictly for point value and high score, then it's probably the best strategy would be to try to eat all four ghosts every time. And your dots, though, will reduce value over time. So right now they're worth 10 points, but if you don't clear the map in time, they'll reduce in value and change colors, and they'll be worth 5 points. Like right there. And then, after a little more time goes by, they'll be worth 1 point. And they'll change to the same color as the wall color right here. It's just cyan. So in this game, I tried to keep it similar to Pac-Man in terms of the pacing. You know, you play the first two maps, the first two rounds, I should say, and then you get to the challenge screen. And I decided to do challenge screens as opposed to intermissions because I just thought it'd be funner. And intermissions have already been done, and just for a change. But after you complete the first two rounds and you complete the challenge map, you only need to consume 3 ghosts to get the speed boost. The speed boost is rather significant. It gives you doubles your speed. So it makes you a lot faster. It is worth it to get it if you can do it. I'm always enticed by the 100 fruit point for the fruit. But generally I just get the dots. Now, I have modified the design of the game over time to try to reduce the number of dots on each map because I might still have far entirely too many dots, but it was many more. And I still think it's fun. The pacing, the speed, the ramp ups. You'll also notice that the siren ramps up through gameplay, through the rounds. Now on the challenge rounds, there is no siren. I turned it off intentionally, you know, just to change it up a little. The key on these maps is to try to get the high value fruits. If you're gonna go through all the pain, I just got a free pack. Let's go for the high values. Like that one. So these maps, they're not always easy to solve. Sometimes you can get through them fairly easily, but it just kind of it's random. It just depends on how your luck, really. You can plan it, you know, strategically, so you're not on the same side of the map as the ghosts, you know, and don't get too close to them. So, you know, you could call it tedious, and maybe it is for some people, but, you know, you can skip the challenge rounds by just dying, so you don't have to play them. You do get 10,000 points for completing the challenge map and an extra pack, so you do get a nice bonus, which helps you out in the later rounds. And if you complete all 3, you get a bonus pack as well as more points. You get a super bonus, 50,000 points. So what it is, you get 1 free pack for each round, a championship round completed, and extra points. So instead of the standard 10,000, you get 50,000 points for the super bonus. And you'll see that here. Watch it. I have 23,000, got the bonus award. Now I have 33,000 extra pack. Now I did leave in the game the cheat that allows you to advance up a level, and you can. I think it makes the game funner. It's cheating, but I think it makes the game funner because you don't have to play the whole round. You can just skip up a map. But there's my super speed. So see how I'm significantly faster? That speed boost lasts until you die or until you get to the next round. But if you do cheat or start off at a higher level than level 1 the first round, then your score, if you do achieve a high score, it will be tainted with a little asterisk next to it. It just means that you didn't start at level 1 or you used the game cheat. Now, what can be fun to do is well, the attract mode. The attract mode can actually beat your score if you're really terrible at this game, or if you don't play at all. If you just turn it on and let the attract mode run, it actually will set the high score, and it has a taint. It shows that as attract mode is not a legitimate high score. It's the computer playing against itself, but it can only play one man. I made it so it didn't play a full game. It just plays one man, and it goes back to the title screen. Now, one thing I didn't mention on the speed boost is after the first challenge map, you only have to eat 3 ghosts to get the speed boost. And then after the second challenge map, you only have to eat 2 ghosts. So because it's so hard to eat 4 ghosts, I figured I had to make it a little easier to get those boosts, speed boosts. And then once you pass the challenge rounds, the third challenge screen, there is no speed boost because the game is already, super fast. And really the game, it really doesn't start. You could say it really doesn't. The game doesn't even start until you get to the challenge rounds, because that's when the game is really ramped up, and it's probably like a mini game would be to just start off on the little swirl at the title screen, because that's where the challenge rounds start, and then just play. See if you can start off with 3 packs and advance through all of the challenge rounds, and that skips all of the challenge maps and takes you directly to the fastest part of the game. And then you'll see right here the white ghost. He's the one I gave a little personality, a little bit, just that he's the most aggressive ghost, especially in the final maps, as I keep dying. The final rounds, the challenge map, the championship rounds. Oh, and then, okay, so here's the second challenge map. This one I called Carpal's Tunnel because, I used to solely play with the keyboard, but and I made it so that you got to go up, down, left, and so it can be tough to play. But my strategy on this map is to complete the top area, and then to come back and complete the bottom, which can be tricky. I was lucky. Now you see the fruits tucked away in between the ET things, and some of those are high value, so a strategy would be to get those first. I believe this map here has the most dots, after I went back and reduced the number of dots. And you see, ooh, they may seem like they're not as smart on these maps, but they are. For the most part, they're still aggressive. They'll still come after you if you let them. There's the bonus award, free pack. Go to the next map. Right here, this is my favorite maps design out of all of these. It seems to be easier to me to clear. But having said that, it's also the same map that is runs when you're on the fastest, hardest level, and it's hard to clear. One thing you'll notice is the fruit on the bottom right. I've set it to be similar to Arcade Pac-Man, where you can kind of know where you're at in the game by looking at the bottom right and looking at the fruit. You kind of know how far into the game you are. Except for like on Pac-Man, you get to those key levels, and it just puts a bunch of keys down there. I didn't do that on this. Oh, I shouldn't have died. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to cheat to go ahead and I want to get to the third challenge map to demonstrate it. And I was pressing the T key on the Commodore 64 keyboard. And just do that one more time. So here it is. Notice it shows it right away, and then it disappears. It's kind of a teaser. So this is a very hard map to complete, especially at the beginning, before I redesigned it a little to open up some more pathways. If you just stay on the opposite side of the ghost for the most part, you'll do all right. But there are some high value fruits in here. Oops. So right there, you want to get the high value fruits first. If you don't get anything else, get those. At least you'll have that. And then right after that map, the challenge maps start. And then the challenge maps, basically it's the last 6 maps in the game, and they just sort of repeat, but it gets really hard to complete these challenge screens. These championship rounds get really tough. And yeah, you want to get the high value fruits. So I'm going to skip ahead, go to the next one. You notice my score's tainted now. And see, the siren ramps up too. Kind of is a little more obvious in the championship round. And when I said I gave the white ghost some personality, I just meant that for the most part, it's not until the championship rounds that white ghost is a lot more aggressive. And then in the championship rounds, again, you don't get a speed boost because the game's already pretty much as fast as it's going to be. Oh, that was not good. Not smart, not smart. Alright, let's skip ahead to the next round before I lose all my men. And yet again, so a little bit of a ramp up. I feel like I was generous with the blue time in this game, as opposed to in the real Pac-Man. I'm going to skip ahead. In the arcade Pac-Man, when I say real, that's what I mean. The blue time, you always have some blue time in this game. It may not be much, but you get some blue time on each map. And it ramps down, of course, as the level progresses. Skip ahead before I die. I like the look of this map right here, the black and gray, and here you're jamming. And before I lose my man, I probably will skip ahead. All is not lost. If I die, I can always start back from the title screen. So this is the fastest map, the one with the pink or purple background. And at first, I didn't have it this fast. I had it fast. I mean, this might be slightly too fast. I don't know. There's the game. But at first, it was actually slower for some reason. I'm not sure. On emulation, it seemed it was fast. It was the right speed. But then when I played it on the real hardware, it was slower. Like, it was too slow. So I sped it up, and now it's fast on... Seems like it's about the same speed on both. So I'm going to do the level, or the Easter egg unlock. Up, down, left, left, right, right. And all that does is gives you more maps. It doesn't add any maps to the game. It just allows you to select more maps from this screen. And if you select, this is the second to the last map, and I could have just pushed the fire button and went directly to this round right here. I like playing this map right here. But at any rate, this is GPAC Dementia Defender. It was a pleasure doing this for my channel and making this game. And thank you for watching.